Two Michigan men who've gotten away with raping and murdering a young woman 44 years ago are finally facing justice. They may have thought the law would never catch up to them, but it did. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Glenda Lewis. This is video of now 71-year-old Douglas Lamming being brought into an interrogation room with detectives from the St. Clair County Sheriff's Office. Lamming did not admit to his crimes, but investigators say a confession from his accomplice helped put them both away. 7 News Detroit reporter Megan Daniels went to Port Huron, where it all began, to hear from the sheriff whose deputies refused to let the murder of Karen Umphrey go unsolved.
Karen Umphrey was kidnapped from this Port Huron neighborhood 44 years ago, and years have passed with no justice in sight. But now all that has changed as 2 men have been convicted in her murder.
The case was continuously passed on from detective to detective.
And it was DNA testing that led to the arrest of 71-year-old Douglas Lamming and 64-year-old Anthony Harris. More than 40 years after investigators in St. Clair County say the 2 kidnapped and murdered 21-year-old Karen Umphrey.
This is a great example of the fact that we preserved this evidence through the years, used it sparingly, as I mentioned earlier, testing it several times.
Harris was arrested at work and later pled guilty to murder. Investigators say he then ratted out his accomplice in the 11th hour, just 1 day before they were both set to stand trial.
This was a huge step in our case and the first point of getting some closure for the family.
Harris confessing to police he forced Karen into Lamming's truck, telling investigators they then took her to the state gaming area where they both raped her. Harris says shortly after he heard 2 gunshots, but due to the darkness of nighttime, he didn't see what happened. Karen Umphrey was later found dead by 2 hunters with 2 gunshot wounds to her head.
After just 3 days of trial, the jury was sent to deliberation, and after only 1 hour returned with a guilty plea.
While it won't bring Karen Umphrey back, Sheriff Matt King with the St. Clair Sheriff's Department says getting justice for a victim and their family is why these men in blue do what they do.
It is my hope that after 44 years, the family of Karen Umphrey can breathe a little easier knowing her killers have been brought to justice.
In Port Huron, Megan Daniels, 7 News Detroit.